Center came up. Wish I'd written my question down. Outside of prosecutor, do you support the ability of our local and state officials to sign non-disclosures and hide from their citizens who elected them and pay them the information they have that's going to greatly impact them, i.e. a data center?
Before you answer that, could I say something about this for a second?
It's okay with me.
I think everybody can hear me without a microphone. I'm loud enough.
You know, you're saying about him, so you might as well let him talk.
I'm on the Monrovia Town Council here. This data center issue that has been coming up. Terry asked me to go ahead and say something about it. I was one of the people that signed a non-disclosure on it. And the reason I did this, I was president of the town council at the time I did. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to see what they were up to. I wanted to see what kind of things that they could offer the town. Because if they became part of the town, they could go ahead and start funding a lot of the infrastructure that was here. That's the reason. The only discussions I had with them for the 2 times that I was there was about the wastewater treatment plant, and that's all that was talked about. Nothing was promised. They said they didn't tell me who they were representing whatsoever, and that's what and that's the reason I went ahead and signed it, because I wanted to find out what it was about. I figured it's.
So my question is, Mr. Bray, do you support our elected officials signing non-disclosure?
So if you're going to recruit business, and let's say it's a business that you want, my understanding is that it's not particularly popular here, right? But let's say there's a business that you want. They will not come unless they have some.
So corporations take precedent over citizens?
No, not the entire time, but initially to start a conversation, they're going to require that or they're not going to come. So yeah, we need more transparency in there, but I do support non-disclosures for a while so you can at least start the conversation. So they're absolutely necessary.
Take precedent over citizens?
Those are your words, Janice, not mine.
So they don't?
I've answered your question as best I can.
I know data centers is going to be one of the designated topics. So someone wanted to, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you know if we are getting a data center? If it is going to come or not? Okay.
I think that it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't
I have no idea.
We haven't gotten any of the public records requested. They've hired lawyers.
Who's they?
It's been requested that the county present public records to us and put them in on. Haven't gotten those. A lawsuit's been filed. They're using our tax dollars to fight us, questioning what the heck is going on, and we're getting nothing out of it. And they're saying, well, we got to hide behind our non-disclosure. Is there a limit to how long a non-disclosure lasts? I mean, if you're saying they have to have it for a corporation to come, is that a 6 month?
At this point, it depends on the agreement. I mean, we probably need to look at that and make sure that we can build in as much transparency as possible.
Why is it so secret?
Well, a corporation, when they begin to shop for a site, they don't want competitors or people to know that where they're shopping around. So that's a big part of it. They just won't come if they don't have that confidentiality, at least to start.
Isn't there competition like schools?
Sure.
Okay, we don't need confidentiality.
Well, if you want they do every day. If you want them to come here, they're going to at least initially have to have some confidentiality.
Here because this is a beautiful state with inexpensive property. They will come. If people
The
sell,
state is encouraging it. Aren't there encouragement from the governor down? Abatements?
Well, those are local. The only thing that the state would give, as far as an incentive to a data center, is for the sales tax on buying the equipment, I believe.
I'm not talking.
Also the utility costs as well. Sales tax on the utility costs.
Right.
So that's
not a small number. Yeah, that's not a small number.
These are some of the largest corporations that have ever existed in human history, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to, while we're on this topic, I think healthcare is one of the most, being in it and seeing it, like doctors are extremely burnt out with the amount of work that they do, and they sort of, I think, a bit unwisely bought into this idea that AI is going to make our jobs easier. And just to draw the connection here between the SMRs that were talked about earlier, the data centers that have been built in Keller Hill Heights, and the AI hype and boom that we're seeing that's driving this desire to build data centers. I submitted a resolution to the American Medical Association in May that was adopted, and they're going to study, which means they're going to do a lit review on studies that have already been done. But the health impacts of data centers are significant, and I just want to talk a little bit about that because the community that you're sitting here in front of is faced with a data center being built just up the road, and we don't have to talk about the people that are going to lose their equity on their homes that they've invested in, and now their home prices are going to decline, which is another significant issue about this. Or the fact that the utility companies are going to shift this cost onto us, the ratepayers, to build out the infrastructure costs of the unproven SMRs that have not been built in this country. We're just sort of expecting them to solve this energy demand problem for us. So energy costs going up, water scarcity going up, that drives 2 public health concerns called energy insecurity. When people live at the level of energy insecurity, they're less likely to purchase their groceries, they're less likely to purchase their medicines because they're faced with electricity shutoffs every month. So that's another public health problem that we're about to face here in the state of Indiana. And also the noise and air pollution that these things generate. We're seeing reports from around the country, and I was at the zoning board meeting where the lawyer was saying 65 decibels, 65 decibels. All the homes are going to have. Right. So what 65 decibels is about like a lawnmower running outside your home 24/7.
Like this generator over here?
Exactly like that generator. And we as human beings are not creatures that are designed to live with that 24/7. thousands of years ago, when we were hunter-gatherer societies, we didn't have that going on. And that noise pollution, this is a settled issue in medicine, that noise pollution, chronic levels above 45 decibels, increases your likelihood of cardiovascular disease because it's causing this sort of chronic stress response in people, whether they're aware of it or not. And that is why our NICUs are soundproofed to 40 decibels. So if anybody in here has had a kid that has been in a NICU, it was soundproofed because of this reason. And we're expecting all these people to have to live with 25 decibels above that. And we're just being told that this is a benefit for our state because AI is going to take everybody's job. So I just would like to hear your response to that.
Well, I'm not sure that argument makes any sense about AI is going to take everybody's jobs. I mean, that's not really correlated with whether a data center lands here or not. I think, first of all, it's a local decision, not my decision, and I'll rely on the locals to justify and articulate why they've given approval to it.
But the energy.
Well, you guys had some public meetings.
We had one public meeting, and then when they went to the commissioners' meeting, they had a drawing that showed the trees, and they wiped out all the buildings to try to fool us.
And they told me I was just finding my information online somewhere, not from
Okay.
meta-analyses of noise pollution. I mean, this is like legitimate research that I'm talking about here. But you did have a role in the energy and the desire to promote SMRs in the state of Indiana and the tax abatements on the sales taxes that were given to these companies. Those were things that you did have a role in.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
And that is enabling the data centers to be built.
So
it's
we
not
need
just a local thing. It's a state of Indiana thing.
That's fine. Yeah, we need to make sure when it comes to data centers, they're not really good job producers. There's obviously some property tax benefits, huge property tax benefits, and I think Oregon County stands to benefit. I don't really know the details of that agreement or the arrangement, but
it's a public health issue.
okay. So, but the thing that we do need to watch out, there's a heavy water use there. We don't really have a serious water challenge in Indiana. We do have a water challenge. It certainly is something that we can accommodate by moving water around, making sure that we don't. In fact, we're in the process of doing a statewide study all over the state of Indiana to figure out where the water is, how much is there, what's the 50-year forecast of how much that region is going to try to develop economically, so that we're not taking more water than need to out of somewhere, so that you choke off their economic potential. So water's a thing, but it's not the biggest thing. Power is the biggest thing. And those data centers, we need to make sure that we aren't starving power from everybody else or putting excessive costs on everybody else. In fact, I've had a recent conversation.
I shouldn't have to pay anything to build a business
Okay.
that's going to make money off of me when they sell that product back to me.
Okay.
I'd like to disagree with you on the concept of water.
That's fine.
Nationally and internationally on water issues. I attended the International Water Alliance of the United Nations a couple years ago. So Indiana is uniquely blessed, but they don't see even any urgency with water. Although you start going west of Mississippi, you start seeing problems with the water.
Quickly, yeah.
Absolutely. But you do see issues. I was told that there's a town up in south of Fort Wayne, there's southern Indiana town where the municipal water is suspect. Martinsville had problems.
Not with supply of water, with a horrible contamination problem.
To your point, yes. Up in Lily or Eli Lilly up in
Lebanon.
Water's an issue.
Yeah.
Well, Lafayette has
Down in Owen County, there are folks that have to go out and bring their water back to their house. So yeah, it's around.
I've been working with alternative water systems, gray water recycling, green water, things like that. Is Indiana looking for alternative water sources? Like gray water catchment, gray water recycling, which we did a job for Purdue University, where gray water recycling reduced domestic water 40%. So it's a real number that you can, if you've got the right situation, you can save water. Is there anybody at your level that is concerned about water issues in Indiana before they become an emergency here in Indiana?
Yeah, like I said, we're working on that study right now, so we have the entire state map to know what the water supply is, what their usage is right now, what their usage might be over the next 50 years. So we're trying to get that finished up. It's going to be a few more years before we get it finalized, but because it takes a while and it's expensive.
Is there an opportunity? Yes, running pipeline is tremendously expensive.
Well, even the study is expensive to figure out where that water is and how much is there.
There's an opportunity to sit on there and contribute what I've been involved with if you have to do so.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that
One
offer.
more question about the non-compete. You said, well, you've had public hearings. We had one public hearing here at the church, and the only reason anybody knew about it is because I called the TV station. And then the second one was where they voted on it. The decision was made. They did not take any input. They did not listen to anything we said. They wouldn't let us have a speaker. They let their attorney and economic development guy do all the talking. We were allowed 2 minutes, and then they laughed at us. And then someone said, well, if you're putting it in Monrovia, are we at least going to see if there are any benefits, any financial benefits for this area? And we were told no, that money is for the county, and we'll use it wherever we want to. Do not expect any of that money to return to this area. So they're decimating our community without our input and telling us to eat it. And it's all because of the non-compete. So I can't believe you, or non-disclosure.
They wouldn't even let your attorney speak.
No, they wouldn't even let our attorney speak.
Okay.
So it was not a fair fight. Yeah.
No.
They were insulting, disgraceful to us. They treated us horrible. Their decision was made, and they didn't want to hear from us.
And the next
Period.
meeting, they voted us through.
And it hurts me very much to hear you say, but that's not my problem as your senator. Well, then who are we supposed to turn to when we need help?
And it is your problem, you're a Morgan County citizen.
I am. Yes, I am.
And didn't they just pass a bill saying that the energy companies can charge in advance of them, so they can start billing us, correct?
Yeah.
For projects that they're going to do before they even start?
For certain projects like the small nuclear reactors, yes.
Yeah, so who's paying for that? Me.
And who's benefiting from it?
And it's the corporation that had the non-disclosure that's benefiting. Then they're going to sell that product back to me. I'm paying them to build it, and then I'm paying him to buy it.
I would say the word